So today I'm going to kind of run through the operation of a processing head. So the gist of this is it's connected to this here, which is a large excavator. It's a pretty cool machine, computerized. So what it does, we use it in logging. You reach out, you grab a log. I wished I had some here because we'd try some. So the log would sit inside here in this cavity in here. These rollers here they spin the log or push it through. So those there, like this here, is called a knife. It cuts the limbs off of it. Chainsaw. See, chainsaw is up inside here. There's one here. There's a topping saw over on the other side. That's what you use to cut the log into lengths. So basically, this is a machine that's used in mechanical logging. Mechanical logging is predominantly small trees, designed for that. So this will it'll actually fall trees too, but basically it's going to process logs in the neighborhood of from 1 inch to up to 30 inches. We can zero in on this a little bit more. So inside the cab, we're sitting in here now. The screen that's going across the front, it's used to save the operator. You can see the heavy bars. If you have it turned towards me and you push the button, it'll fire a log through into the cab. There's a friend of mine that did it. He'd never used one before. He picked the head up and he was trying it out, and he pushed the button to start. What it did was it fired the log straight up against it wasn't against the screen, came in right about at his feet. When the computer pushes the log through, and the log comes to a stop, what the log did was it hit the machine. When the log comes to a stop, what the computer thinks it did was it hit a big limb. So it has a process it's called crash through. What it will do is it backs the log up about 5 feet, and then it forces it through again as hard as it can. And it'll do it 5 times in a row. And this all happens pretty quick. It's probably within a few seconds. So what it did was it smashed the log in at his feet 5 times as hard as it could. He didn't know what to do. He was trying to push buttons. He was trying to decide whether he should get out of the machine and run or what to do. It finally stops after 5 tries, and then it asks the operator what he'd like to do, and that operator said that he'd like to open the door and clear the smell out of the machine. But it's dangerous. You got to watch what you're doing. You can kill yourself pretty easy. You can kill a person if they're standing out here. So what we're going to do is, it's been a long time since I've used this. So these are the handles. Let me make this smaller. So you're looking at my feet here. These are pedals, how you drive the machine. It's just a basic excavator with a computer inside of it. This here is the computer screen. It'll light up in a few seconds. But so over on this side here, you have 5 buttons, and you also have triggers. So right here, rollers, roller forward, roller backwards. Those are the rollers out there on them that push the log through. So if you're going to start, you would be pushing the log through by pushing one of these. If you're going to do it manually, the computer will do it all itself. So this is the saws. There's 2 saws. This is the butt saw here. This is the top saw. So depending on which saw you want to use. And this one here is blank, and what is that guy there? I kind of forget what that one there's for. No, that's the find end. So what you can do is you reach out there, you grab the log, you push that, and it's gonna line up the butt of the log with that butt saw. So when you push the buttons to process a log, the head will do it all itself, or the computer will. So if you look down here, so this is another handle, you got buttons over on this side. So this one here will open just the bottom knife. This one here will open up the main knives. This one over here in this corner is, I think it's for slow. If you want to just make those rollers go slowly, you push that one and then you push your roller button. Up here, I kind of forget what these guys do up here. Sure they do something. So these buttons here are presets. So this would be, say this is pine, Doug fir, spruce, hardwood. So whatever log you pick up, you would, if you pick up a pine log, you'd press that. The presets are inside the machine, so in other words, it will give you the preferred lengths that the mill wants. These are all programmed into the computer. So if you come over here, let's say if you push a Doug fir, this button here is going to make a 40-foot long log. This one here is going to make, I think, a 35-foot long log, and it goes just down. You get 4 of them. So these guys over, let's see, these two here, this will advance the log 2 feet. This will retract the log 2 feet. So if you get to the end and you decide that it's not the right measurement, you push one of these buttons here, you can move it back just a couple of feet. Now again, there's trigger buttons, and the trigger buttons work in 2 different directions. So let's see. You're probably tired of listening to me talk. Let's see if we can lift this up. So let's get a little bit of throttle here. So I'm trying to hold the camera and lift all this up at the same time. Let's see how we're going to do this. Well, we can just go ahead and pick it up. It ain't going to be the end of the world. So this is called a dangle head processor. Go figure. Just because it's dangling where it's at is the main reason. Back and forth here. So if we wanted to rotate it, so we can rotate it like that. We can rotate it back this way. That's what you want to do, is watch that hose. The hose wires cables off to the left hand side. You do not want to wad them up, because if you do, it's a pain in the butt to fix. So let's bring this thing a little, I know, let's see, we're gonna, first we got to turn our machine on. It's been a while. Okay. Works. So it is a touch screen. So it's asking you what you want to do. We have choices here. You can change settings, troubleshoot. It'll go through everything on here, but what we're going to do is press process. Okay, so we're looking here into what its current length. There is no length. Diameter, there is no length. There's nothing inside there. See if we can open these. So there, we just opened all the knives. And so if we wanted to close them, what we'd do is we'd reach down, we'd grab a log, and then we'd close those. If you here. So if you pick up a log with it facing this way and you push the roller buttons, let's see how fast they go. It will fire that log at you at a rate of 10 feet per second. It would be in this cab before you could release the button. So it's pretty dangerous. You always try to keep people working this way. This is a happy direction for the machine. What you're doing is you're grabbing the logs will be coming in off your left-hand side. You'll reach down, you'll grab them, and you'll process them out to your right-hand side. There would be a log loader sitting over there, stacking them off to the side and loading them onto trucks. Like I said, this thing is pretty cool. Everything on here, you know, it'll tell you the length, the diameter of the log. It'll tell you at the end of the day how many logs you went through. It'll give you a production rate. You know, it'll tell you how many logs you made, how much volume there is, and all kinds of happy horse crap. It is you know, loggers are kind of crazy. They'll buy a machine like this. This is a basic construction machine. The excavator itself it's everything that, you know, that a regular excavator would be. And then we hang a $200,000 head out there with a computer that will go through and do all of these. You know, it'll cut logs within an inch. You know, a 40 foot long log within an inch of 40 feet. They're that accurate, and it'll do them within a few seconds. I mean, it's very fast, very efficient. It takes all the limbs off, cuts them into lengths. Unbelievable. But we'll take this machine out and we'll run it for probably about a tenth of what a construction outfit will get for just an excavator. So what I'm going to do here, we just open that up. Let's see if that thing, you got to be pretty careful with this. I just turned off the hydraulics to it. But what I'm going to do is go out there and rotate a wheel that measures the logs. And I'm doing this for a reason, because it's been a while since I've used this. We're trying to see if the measuring system still works. And how you tell that is, would have to have this thing up where it's above my head. So what I put, so this is a wheel that measures the log. The log's going to push up against this and it will spin it as it rotates. So what we're going to do is rotate this 10, let's see, we want to go this way. Log would be going, nope, let's see, yeah, the log would be going this way. We're going to make it go 10 revolutions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there is 10. Now we're going to go inside back inside the machine and see if the measuring wheel or the computer itself comprehended that the log was rolling. So it did. So what it says is 18 feet, 5.6 inches. So now what we're gonna do is go and roll it back 10 feet. And what we want on there is 0. And the reason for it is we rotated it 10 revolutions one way. Now we're going to go back 10 revolutions. I hate standing underneath these things. So we're going back the opposite direction. Hopefully this is the opposite way. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and that's about where it was at. So it should, the computer should say 0, unless I was off on my count, which very well could be. I was using my fingers. Oh man, getting old, getting tough, getting in and out of these machines anymore. So we're right, I mean, it's 0.3, and that's like what, 1/3 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch. So yeah, cool. Diameter works. How we can make that go and disappear, go back to 0 is you, oops, you gotta have some power. So we just did that, made it 0 out. We've already determined that the wheels spin in both directions. Let's see if we can get a close-up of this. So we are at no throttle, and we probably need some throttle just to make this work right. So we're going to push left-hand button, right-hand button, reversed. Okay, let's do, so we're doing the, so now when you push the top saw, now we're going to go back this way, push the button for the top saw, it's going to change the measurement. So it's 4 foot 11.8 inches. And what that distance is, it's the distance from the butt saw to the top saw. So the computer's already compensated that we want a different saw, and that different saw is going to give you a different length. So it's going to start measuring from, as long as that button's pushed. So what we're going to try and do is make that top saw come out. There's the top saw off to the left-hand side. Let's maybe do it one more time. See? Let me see if I can zero in. We're gonna turn this way. So the top saw is, push it one more time. Doesn't want to do it this time. There we go. So that's the top saw. Those saws work. That's what we're trying to do. Let's see if we can make the bottom knife should open. Let me rotate this around. Okay, so this button here is for the bottom knife. And that was just the one that we opened up right there. So sometimes what you need to do is you need to release that, and it'll get hung up on stuff on the log. You need to move it. So that's what the purpose of this. So now the left-hand roller on this is called a pulse. So what happens sometimes is that you need to process the log the opposite direction. The log's like a snow cone, so it's gonna, or the ice cream cone is. It's tapered at the top, it's fat on the butt. So sometimes you need to grab the tapered side, and you're going to pull it through the opposite direction. So those knives keep pressure. So when you push this one here, uh-oh, we have no pulse. So that should be a pulse open. There it is right there. So that's going to open, and it allows the log to go the opposite direction and not keep closing. It's going to be opening because the log is getting fatter instead of skinnier. So that's the purpose of that. Let's see, what else did we have here? That's the fine butt. That's not going to work. I kind of forget. Oh, this one here should just open the wheels. So it's not opening anything else. is just opening the wheels. We go pull that, and everything closes. So, cool machine. I wished I had a log here we could zap it back and forth, and I wished I had a holder that could hold my phone, and where I don't have to keep pushing. So if we pushed one of, let's see, let's go back to our other saw. So now we just clicked off, we no longer have the butt saw is operating. I mean, the top saw is no longer operating. Let me see, what would this, if I push these, I think it's going to keep spinning the rollers until we hit a certain length, which is not going to do it because there is no log in there. So I'll refrain from doing that. But yeah, just a cool machine. I mean, it's fast. It does most of the work for you. There is a lot of buttons and stuff in the cab. You can stand the machine up. It'll fall trees. You see if I can. I probably can't do it. I need to manipulate both sticks at the same time in order to do it. You can see where that hose is. It gets pinched if you're not careful. But if you push a certain button, it'll make that head stand up, and you can reach it over and you can grab a tree, and then you just sever the tree, and then when you push the button it kind of falls. Probably do it if I set my phone down. See if I can. That's how it's gonna stand up. Because I didn't push process, it kind of doesn't tilt all the way. So what I've done in the past is what I do here. You kind of just push it down on the ground. Until it goes all the way up. Like that. So right now, we could slide that right up to the tree and sever the tree. Once you put it up like that, what that does is it locks out that top saw. And the reason for that, if you saw it off the tree at the top, it'll go anywhere. Basically, we see where those knives are pointing right there. That's where the tree is going to fall. So it would come back here beside me. You can rotate the head further and just put it anywhere you want to. So once you hit the saw button, it should have relaxed. There it goes. And that way it allows the tree to fall wherever it's going to. So right now we're going to close everything.